Yeah, we got a wide. All right, so the tall camera in the back right here is the wide shot. The little camera that's right next to you directly, that one is host and guest. The one that's directly in front of the big tripod, that's just me, and that's obviously just on the camera. So yeah, when you're here, sit as close to this arm as possible, and when you're talking, if you want to direct the audience at home, you'll talk to the small one because that'll be the tight shot on us. But if Scott's talking and he switches to the wide shot, we'll be able to see everything on the monitor here.
All right,
Then you'll be looking at that. Oh, we're live. So, do you follow Club Ultra on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, just share that stream. Did you just do it, Alan? Oh, you can hear everything. Is it off now? Yes?
I don't know why it was on. Oh, I know why, because I fixed it.
Alright. Oh, my brother just tuned in. How wonderful guy.
Just let me know when you want to go to the other intro now and start everything.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just gonna pull up the intro now. Watch everybody.
Luck. Luck is what we're going to. Hey, guess what? We made it to Thursday night! So, what we're going to do is roll that intro. Why am I hearing that?
It's my phone. I'm checking. Make sure it all works.
So guys, what's new? You guys hanging out on Thursday? I hope you are, because we've got a stellar show lined up. But first, I gotta say hi to my boy Barry! How you doing tonight, Barry? Yeah, Barry's been on vacation, it looks like. He's been playing golf, or I don't know what he's been doing, but he's always enthusiastic, and we're happy to have him. He is a godsend that we could never afford to live without. But we got a great show lined up. I don't want to dilly-dally any longer. We're already running a little late, but we don't give a shit. So, I want to welcome my first guest, Mr. Scott Miller! Woo! What's going on? I want your keys, man.
I need them to open my beer.
Oh, bringing keys on my... Nobody brings keys to this show!
No.
So, I know... Oh, you got a...
This is nice. What do they call it? It's like psychedelic going on with the pork roll festival. Super pork rolls.
Super pork rolls.
Superhero.
Yeah,
and it's got all kinds of crazy graphics going on. That's wild. That's an expensive expensive pork roll shirt.
So, Scott,
Welcome, first of all. Long time coming. It's a pleasure.
wanted to get you on the show because
You're the man behind the Pork Roll Festival. But you also are one of the guys behind Teenage Bloodsucking Bimbos. Well, would I say, would that be correct to assume?
I helped Tony Goggles.
You helped Tony Goggles, who at the premiere.
I was at
You're at
the
the
Premiere. Actually,
That's the first thing we're going to do tonight. Is we're going to run.
Guys, here's what we got. Bring that tight in on me real quick. Here's what we got. So Friday, last Friday was the big premiere of the advanced screening of Teenage Bloodsucking Bimbos. Red carpet, beautiful downtown Trenton, New Jersey, at the auditorium at the State Museum.
Wonderful turnout.
I was in the movie. I was there. I don't have a big part.
I'm not going to claim big parts, but I had a lot of fun doing what I did.
You guys will be seeing it when it comes out, I'm sure.
I was
Fully, you were in the movie. You know, there's a lot of people that contributed to this project, and it turned out spectacular. What I want to run for you guys right now is we had, at the premiere, there was photographers, there was people that were just taking pictures and whatever. We compiled a nice little slideshow just to show, how well that went down, and the amount of fun and how gorgeous everybody looked. Everybody was dressed. What's the expression? Dressed to the nines? Is that what it's Barry? Is that what
we
it is?
hit on the red carpet last Friday.
Yeah. I was a little late.
I was a little late.
I was too.
So I had to do all the hugs and kisses, but everybody had to go into the movie, so I didn't have a lot of time to do it.
But here's what we're going to do. Producer, want to run that slideshow? Guys, check it out. I don't think we need audio for this part, though.
Like my audio, right?
Yeah,
we're just gonna,
you know what?
We're going to play one of the songs from the movie over top of it. I'm going to wave my fingers around like this, and it's going to be like, BAM!
Magic! We can do it. Song's not playing.
It should be playing. This happened the other night. It's probably playing on there on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's just not.
Then I can just leave this on mute so we don't run a risk. Don't want to run any risks.
Sides are stuck there.
It was a lot of fun that night, though, man. It was a long night. And everybody was there, so it was great. Oh, the song ended.
Okay, should loop around now. Want me to come back to you?
Yeah, we'll just come back. There we go. Nice. The
The slideshow was a lot longer
than I even
remembered.
So many pictures. Guys, it was such a fun night. The after party was fantastic. I want to thank the people that actually, the photographers, photographer Michelle Lawler of Lucky 17, photography, Howard Michaels. I'm pretty sure I had a lot of people that I had pictures that I grabbed from. So I hope I'm not missing anybody. Will Foskey, I don't know if I had any of yours, but I think I may have. Allie Money, I think I had a shot that you did. Holly Finn. The list probably goes on, but I got kind of a bunch, and you know, hopefully you liked seeing a little sneak about what we had going on last Friday. But anyway, let's get back to the meat and potatoes here of this episode. Scott Miller, Pork Roll Festival's coming up. The 5th annual official Pork Roll Festival.
Sure is. Saturday, May 26th, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Where can they find that?
I've been a part of it.
Oh yeah, I've been a volunteer
for 4 years now, and my son as well. It's a great family event. You come out, there's music, food, of course. The food is always fantastic every year. It's just so much to do. It's enjoyable for everybody. And a couple weeks ago, I had Jake Foy on the show when he's an Alpha Rabbit, and hashtag group text. But yeah, we touched base on it a little bit there as well, and you know, I told him that I was going to be having you on, and you know, he speaks highly of the festival as well. Obviously, I mean, he's such a great turnout. Yeah, like a founding father. You though, I guess what I want when I ask you is, I don't know if anybody else has probably approached you years ago, but like, what inspired you to decide there's no Pork Roll Festival? Like, anybody could have thought that notion at any point, and no one, I don't know if anyone hadn't questioned it, or just been like, yeah, that is kind of weird, just moved on from it, but you did move on from it. It became a thing, like, instantly.
Yeah, it was brought up at an Art All Day party, I think, somewhere in like 2013. I think my friend Vito Altieri made a joke about Pork Roll Festival. I think our friend Post Midnight might have been around that day. Okay. And it was a joke. I think I had heard somebody say something, or Pork Roll Party or something, and it resonated with me, but I didn't know enough about Pork Roll, or I didn't have a deep enough appreciation to think that it could be made into what it is today, until a friend of mine, Andrew Owl's house, he used to come visit me, you know, a couple times a week. One day he just showed up hungry, and he stormed into my house with a box of case pork roll pre-sliced.
Pre-sliced? I love
I'm hungry, just get me a frying pan, I'm going to make you a sandwich. And he made pork roll, and I'd had it elsewhere, but I'd never really bought it and cooked it and ate it. And I'm not originally from Trenton.
Right.
And he made this, and I was just amazed. You know, I have an old 1950s stove in my house, and gave him a cast iron pan, and it, you know, it smelled similar to bacon.
It is very similar to bacon.
You know,
I mean, it's a pork product as well, but I always call pork roll feels like bacon's like more mature brother. Like, I mean, like, bacon's good on stuff, but like once you put pork roll on stuff, whoo, that just elevates everything.
My friend Michael Ray, a Trentonian, a trumpet player for Kool and the Gang since the 80s, told me that when he was a kid, they called pork roll the special meat.
The special
yeah.
But
It would happen.
it is I think it's just a tri-state phenomenon, really, and it's not really fully tri-state. It's all of New Jersey, obviously.
Well, it's bigger than you would imagine.
I'm sure it's bigger than I imagine, but like the core areas that are usually discussed are, of course, parts of Philadelphia, all of Philadelphia, I should say, and surrounding areas. But like you were from
I'm from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
and you didn't have it there.
We didn't have that. We had fried Lebanon bologna.
That's different, though.
Different, yeah. And I grew up eating that as a staple of my diet, you know, Lebanon bologna sandwiches and stuff. And I would fry it and eat it. That's the closest thing we had.
Yeah, the fried bologna. My father used to talk about
Similar.
fried bologna.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you had pork roll, though, once you came out here,
I was immediately
it
hooked.
is. It's one of those things. It's such an elevating food.
I had an artist friend, Thomas Reeves. He's probably the only guy who did anything to advertise the pork roll product for a number of decades when the pork roll companies weren't doing it themselves. I think they kind of slipped into a mode where they were self-sustaining.
Yeah, like why not in a way? Because
you can reach that.
yeah, you're not trying to go national, so you're not like worrying about all that. They will ship it though. It's pricey.
Yeah, it's
pricey, but they will
pricey.
ship it.
Since the mid-1800s,
Right.
there was a time where it was bigger in pop culture, and it was a
Well, there were specific restaurants that were advertised as a pork roll. Right? I remember
there were tailored
pictures that you used
restaurants
to.
on North Broad and North Warren Street, and they were elsewhere in Philadelphia, Asbury Park. Atlantic City Boardwalk all had tailored pork roll sandwich shops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like to have a business specifically titled that.
Yeah,
It really lends to what the community aspect for that.
it was a staple product on the AC Boardwalk for decades, and then it kind of faded away, and the company stopped advertising it, with the lone exception of artist Tom Reeves, a local Trenton guy who worked pork roll themes into his pop culture art. Like he had a pork roll baby, and he did a pork
He had a pork roll baby.
Yes, he's like,
I don't want to know what
Like,
you're
it's
eating
all
all
that
that.
characters, and he was in the 90s, like a long time ago, long before we thought of having a pork roll festival.
Right.
Tom was making art and trend and original artwork too that worked in pork roll themes and things like that.
Supported the product from the very get-go.
So in 2014, we thought we would have a festival. It's one of the few sustained businesses that we've had since the 1800s, maybe the only.
Yeah.
Very important thing. If Trenton loses its
Trenton takes, the world
they
takes.
suffer. So
It might not be the whole world.
I actually thought about having a pizza festival years ago, but we lost all our historic pizza places,
moved out.
10 years or so. So pork roll is an important thing, and we got to make the best
It
of
is a community staple, especially Trenton being as it's from.
Yeah, people might know there's two pork roll factories in Trenton, Taylor and Case, and they've both been around since the 1800s, making a similar but different product.
And living harmoniously in their business. You have, obviously from working the festival, and
Barry, you
Barry
work festival this year?
I think Barry's going
We had to work on
We're going to get Barry in the festival. He's a big, he is huge at Burning Man. He is big into Burning Man. He usually helps build the Burning Man, and his architectural skills are unmatched in the world.
I'm not going to get into your
side jobs, though. I'm not going to get into his side jobs. Jesus Christ over here!
I gotta deal with this guy over here. Oh, he's supposed to be my producer. Can't even have a serious conversation with Barry because Alan doesn't know how to act. Unreal.
He's extra happy.
He is extra happy.
Influence of anything?
I don't know. He certainly acts like it.
Life over there.
So,
in a way that we're not aware
so
of.
let's try to stay on target and ignore the producer and let him do his job.
Wait. Somebody just said hi from South Africa.
Hi. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate your viewership. Maybe one day you'll get some pork roll. Woo!
I'm pretty sure it's in South Africa.
I don't know
anything about international affairs.
This is what I do on Thursday nights.
Mr.
Ooh, that does sound good
though, Alan.
Bring that camera back on me real quick.
Nick Twist, Mr. International.
That's not
Mr. Local Guy.
So,
Back to the Pork Roll Festival. Let's really narrow in on that.
Yeah. We've got 8 days left.
There's 8 days until the festival, and people can still volunteer.
Yeah, we need some volunteers.
You know you can volunteer.
Always. So you can go to porkrollfestival.com.
And there's
perks. If you volunteer, you can get a free T-shirt.
There's
A
perks.
gorgeous T-shirt that mimics our poster.
actually, look at that poster. Ooh, can we put the poster up? You have that picture,
I'll
don't
link
you?
to that, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Tony
Oh, it's
Gonzalez
a slideshow.
We're going to show it
is the
later.
director of Teenage Bloodsucking Bimbos. He works on all our graphics here. We're proud of his work. So this year,
That one's
our
animated.
poster will be on the official shirts. And very interesting. All our volunteers will get a free shirt, free food.
Every year,
Every hours. We need all the people we can get. PorkrollFestival.com.
I will say,
It's a good
even
time.
as a volunteer, not just because I have, my heart is in it because of how far it's come, and volunteering every year, seeing the same people, new faces coming in. It gets better every year, and to be a volunteer and to help put that whole production on, with the, I want to say, relative to what we're doing, a handful-sized amount of people, it feels like. But then you look around, you're like, there's this person doing that. Like, everybody working in unison.
It's a community event.
It is. And the community works in that.
If we didn't have these people to help
Exactly.
out. And our volunteers are professional volunteers.
Yeah,
They come in, the same people helping out at the Punk Rock Flea Market and Art All Night. They're the spirit and energy of our community is the volunteers.
And they're a part of the community, and that's what I love about bringing everybody together, because you can get involved directly. Like, it's not like you go to New York and it's like this big thing that's already put together. Like, you can go in there and be like, hey, I want to volunteer. You know what? Come here for these 3-hour block of your time, or however long you want to volunteer for, as long as you want. And we got a job for you.
Yeah.
There's something that you can do anywhere. There's simple things.
And we need people to help with the stage. We have 8 great bands. And so we have needs there, helping swap the bands on and off the stage, and with our merchandise and our beer garden and the kids area.
It's all ages. It's all ages.
Yeah, this is a family-friendly
And
event.
why don't you let them know about that price point? Because
$5.
And it's been that way since the beginning.
where are you going to go for $5?
You can't park your car.
Yeah,
You can't store anything for 5 times.
Pork. That's what it sounded like I said. Oh,
So
man.
the Pork Roll Festival.
So the Pork Roll Festival is a big event. It's one of the bigger, huge things that goes on. It's funny.
It's huge for my neighborhood.
And I know that there's a bug in the air. Usually, that I hear that there's like a some form of competition that's occurring or whatever. And we actually got I think it was wasn't that screen cap from like security camera footage? I think we have a photograph of what the competition is. I don't know what that is. It appears to be some sort of creature. I don't know what that is. That's apparently what you. I don't know how that's competition.
It's not.
I don't know. But that's what we have, folks. That's what we have. We took that from footage. I don't know where we got the. I don't know what we're talking about. We're just throwing up. Now we're throwing up drawings. Now we got drawings on the show. Oh, before we go any further, you have been on behalf of the festival, which is big deal for us. You're doing some giveaways. You're letting us do some giveaways.
Yeah, we got some prizes for you to give away anyway.
Right, yeah, you know what?
T-shirts,
I got a bunch of stuff.
buttons, we've
I got a
got
bunch of stuff. I'm gonna get it right here.
some koozies.
Guys, look at this.
All right, so here's the deal. Here's the deal. Let me get this back on me real quick. Guys, you know how this works. And if you don't, I'm going to make it real simple for you. Like, comment, share this video. Right now, the live feed. Tag a friend. Tag somebody just to see if they're interested in coming to look. You do all that, you're going to win one of these prize packs. I'm not going to tell you what's in each prize pack, but I'm going to show you what the prizes are. And we have several packages. Look at this. All right.
Pork Roll Festival.
Building blocks.
That is a pork roll sandwich right
You're
there.
confused or you forgot, that's the basic pork roll and cheese sandwich.
You can win that. This exact one. The one that I promised I wouldn't bring into the bathroom. We got that one. See what else we got. Oh, this one was popular. This is definitely popular. Look at this. Pork Roll University here. Pork Roll U.
That's right.
Fantastic.
come to Trenton, you're definitely going to Pork Roll U to come to the Pork Roll Fest. Beautiful Mill Hill Park, downtown Trenton.
Any amount of time in Trenton and not learn something about pork roll.
And you want to know what else?
You know, my downtown area where I live is pork roll ground zero.
Yeah, pretty much.
It has been since the 1800s. There are 14 different places where you can score a pork roll sandwich in downtown Trenton.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I don't think there's any place like it on the planet. And
I remember several years ago on West Front Street there, they had that little bank. And you said, wouldn't it be nice to just have a pork roll
the giant
sandwich
bank across
and
from our
coffee?
office.
That's all you could get was a pork roll sandwich and coffee. That's what the whole menu was. Set price, mornings. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That is it's right across the street. I'm just going to tell people you're doing it, whether you're doing it or not. Just go knock on his door if you know where he lives. So anyway, here's another shirt we got here. Look at that. Pork roll, made in Jersey.
You know, there are fake pork rolls that are made in other states. Like, I had this horrible shit called Daisy Roll pork roll. Daisy Rose, it was horrible. I had to throw it away. I had like 2
That bad, huh?
Really bad. Like, real pork roll is only made in Trenton, New Jersey, but we all know that.
We all know that.
Maybe some of your viewers don't.
That's another one we already saw. But guys, look, come on,
Koozies. Who doesn't?
beer koozies. Come on, you know you want that. And it's included in a prize
Push that
pack.
up to the camera. That's
Look at that. Look at that. You know what?
See
Yeah,
that?
you can do it. You can out there.
Yeah, see that, Alan? You got this here.
There you go. Look at
That's
that.
the Garden State
That's
Parkway.
the Garden State
right
Parkway
there.
right there.
On your koozie, Garden State pork roll. Also designed by Tony Goggles.
Seems like that guy's got his hands in everything.
Yeah, he does.
What kind of stock is he holding?
What
We
else you got there?
got buttons.
That's
Everybody
right.
loves a button.
I got one of them.
Buttons, and look at this. 2
Pork roll frizz.
pork roll frisbees. Oh yeah, look how it's reacting with the background. Now it's my face.
We'll have this shit for sale at the festival.
Yes, of course you can get this stuff at the
You can get it
festival.
for free right
But
now.
you're gonna get it
It's
for
part of this
free.
contest.
Right now, a prize pack.
So let people know.
Any combination of any of this stuff could be yours for a like, share, comment, tag a flair.
Make it special. You could actually autograph this frisbee.
Oh.
Hands, right?
Oh,
You have a black magic.
I can do that. I don't think we have any kind of
You can autograph the
short
give it
things
away.
that I'm allowed to be around.
Can you imagine doing a Nick Twist autographed pork roll frisbee?
We could all autograph it.
That's that. We could.
The whole show.
You think you can get him to autograph it? Though?
Barry autographs things for
Barry, are
living.
you gonna autograph it?
He's an underwriter. He's an underwriter.
Barry says he's not up with it.
We'll get like a handprint or something from Barry. But guys, look at all this stuff. I can't hang on to this. I don't have space
We'll
in the
help you
studio.
do merchandise too, of course.
You want to know something? I can't keep this in the studio for long because Anthony L. Lewis, who runs the other video game show, the All-Purpose Champion, the video game show, the All-Purpose Champion, which, if I could just make a real quick left turn on all this, my producer won the tournament yesterday. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Big win, big W over here.
Fortnite tournament.
Fortnite tournament.
Now, when you're in a contest, doesn't it usually say friends and family of the organization can't compete or whatever? Those rules don't apply.
Oh, those don't apply here.
What about Barry? Was he in the competition?
Barry's probably not of liberty to speak of such things. I would be very careful about those types of things. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our first commercial break. But in that commercial break, we're going to run all kinds of pork roll festival stuff.
Sweet.
We're going to come back. We're going to talk about some of the other things. We're going to welcome our second guest. It's going to be wonderful. Guys, it's going to be so freaking wonderful that you're going to want to be here. I even got a normal-sized people back. No more bistro bullshit. Come on back. Be with us. Life with a twist. Right after this. Think.
Do you want to do the donate when you come back?
Yeah, we'll do donate when we come back. Okay, so we did all the pork roll
I've
fest
lived
stuff.
and worked in this city for most of my life. A city with a rich and extensive history that's often overlooked and unappreciated due to the busy, frenetic activity of everyday life. A city overshadowed by an unsavory reputation,
This is perfect, Alan,
ambivalence, or
to
disdain,
play after what we just talked about. Will's commercial here.
where the dweller struggles and the visitor's fears interplay to sustain an uneasiness that is felt by everyone.
Going to the Porkle commercial?
Yeah, to do the Porkle Festival thing. And you can run that slideshow at the Porkle Festival stuff. At the very end before we come back.
Yet if you made the effort to look, you'll quickly find that among the overall subjective darkness there are places
That's fine. It's fine.
positively bright that will bring you back over and over again. Places where the energy will fill you with the feel-good worth experiencing regularly and often. And when you find one of these places, like I have, support and nurture them accordingly so that others may enjoy them for many years to come.
He's probably super busy, right?
You know, they're my favorite. That's a right up for next week.
I'm booked up until June. Okay. I think June might be the
Have Reggie on in September because we do a Porktoberfest festival in the block party in front of my house. We can run that down.
Yeah, I had to.
It's alright. Still looks better.
Alan, do you know Marley Boat Show? Awesome.
Yeah. How long is the break?
How long? It could be whenever. You need time? Cinema fans, Jay! Cinema fans, we don't fucking know when we're coming back. Run the Pork Roll slideshow after this. Nah, just run it and then we'll talk about it. You got music for it?
No, I left it on the microphone because I thought you could.
Okay, we'll just talk then. Is that it? Yeah.
Whoa! Fix that real quick.
Alright guys, what we're looking at here is just some splash screen flyers for the 5th Annual Pork Roll Festival. Yeah, Scott, you talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we still need some table vendors, so you can go to our website, porkrollfestival.com. Also volunteers, same website link. We've got food and t-shirts for everybody that can volunteer, even if you can come for a few hours. WTF is one of our favorite food vendors. Pork Roll Slinger OG since Pork Roll Festival #1. Bacon Me Crazy has a whole menu of bacon and pork roll related items and sausage sandwiches. People are going to love them. These are some of our food vendors for this year's festival. What else you got, Alan?
Is that it? No, there we go. DiLorenzo's.
We
Always
saw them at
popular.
Art All Night last year. Wonderful, original OG Trenton pizzeria.
Pork roll pizza,
Yeah,
right?
pork roll pizza in the park.
Nah, pork roll pizza, you can't beat that. Well, you can't equate that to anything. That's, you gotta try it. You
Yeah, one
gotta
of the
try it.
oldest pizzerias in the country, their family.
They have pork roll.
Yeah, we've got a number of different food trucks. You just
Is
you visit our website to see the full lineup, but we've got people doing pork roll empanadas, pork roll rice and beans. We've got pork roll rice balls and
For people with the sweet
burgers,
tooth, they got
the award-winning House of Cupcakes, Johnny's Pork Roll from the shore. We're really excited to have them. part
super
of our
famous
festival.
Johnny's Pork Roll will
Yes.
be there.
And that coming
Kona
out
Ice always
Always a favorite.
Yeah.
Always a favorite, especially when it gets hot.
We've got a number of dessert vendors offering all kinds of stuff this year. Here's our iconic Pork Roll Festival poster designed by Tony Goggles. It's also going to be on the staff in limited edition shirts for the festival this year.
Looks good, man. Everything. I'm very excited. 8 days. Kind of snuck up, didn't it?
It always
sneaks
sneaks
up
up
on
We're
you.
in pretty good shape though. The weather's looking good. There might be a little bit of drizzles, but it's going to be a nice.
Oh wait, we got okay.
I didn't know we
Nice
had more. Hamilton, yeah. So,
They were a lot of fun. They liked it a lot.
and of course, our Pork Roll Queen contest. Every year we've got a number of great contestants this year. I think people are going to be really excited about what they do. And the recipe contest. It's still not too late to enter for either of these that we're going to hold the enrollment open till Wednesday night. And it looks like we're looping to give it
Yeah, we're the top
card.
card.
It's one of our featured food
Very
vendors. An
food
iconic
favorite of
food favorite, not only at the Pork Roll Festival, but you'll find them at Punk Rock Flea Market and Art All Night. They're a regional food.
And everybody goes nuts for it.
Everybody goes nuts for all the
Their
vendors.
tater tots
Yeah.
is something y'all got to try.
There's just so many good things out there
that we're trying to make sure you guys have access to it and go to the Pork Roll Festival. Go to all the events in Trenton, especially because they're a lot of fun and it's, the community comes together and makes it a good time. But you have a lot of other things. That we're gonna touch on because I want to make sure that you're not just the pork roll guy because you might be the king of the pork roll scenario here, but Mill Hill First Friday art parties. That's something that you're just starting up now. Or
It's something we're Exit 7A, which is my day job, our media production studio, and I work with Tony Goggles and Jason and a collection of other people.
Barry
Sometimes, right? But I mean, we produce a variety of digital media products, graphic design, photography, videos, audio, and music production.
You're open for business, what, how many days a week?
Well, we're open 7 days a week. You know, pretty much when anybody's available, we can do it. You know,
Website,
morning, noon, or
plug
evening.
it.
Exit7a.com. I've been there for 15 years. So.
I've seen a lot of projects come through Exit 7A, many of which I've been a part of myself.
We help people with their creative projects, so we're often in the background behind all kinds of things.
Yeah, like I said, I've been through there many times for different things each time. You know what I mean? Like
Something different.
it
really.
is. You go in there, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Yeah, we've got a band rehearsal studio, and we're really proud to have produced Alpha Rabbit's recent album that came out really nice.
Alpha Rabbit's great.
Yeah, their second
They
album.
were on here a
out,
couple
and
weeks ago.
They wrote some really good
Causing a
songs.
ruckus, damn rabbits.
Their recording production project was quite fun for us at the studio. So very cool.
So anyway, the First Friday art party.
Yeah, First Friday is something we're doing in collaboration with the Mill Hill Saloon,
Okay.
who is also our beer garden sponsor for
sponsor
this year's Pork Roll Festival. And,
Nice to bring it home.
it's the best bring it home. Yeah, that's my OG
Yeah.
hangout. I've been going to the Mill Hill Saloon
As
since the early 90s, almost on a nightly basis. And one of these days they're going to put a brass plaque
on the door.
or on the bar somewhere. So First Fridays, for a number of years, people have been doing First Friday art and block parties around the city, and it's grown to a decent number now. There are things going on at the Broad Street Bank and the new Roebling Loft apartment complex,
Right.
and the Trenton Social downtown, and the First Friday block parties happen in front of our own studio on West Front Street in conjunction with the
Right there.
the 1911 Smokehouse and a number of other people. Live First Fridays from May through September, we do those. But we thought we would bring something to the Mill Hill Saloon. And,
Expanded it.
yeah. So
It's overflow. Now it's like we have this.
but there's a critical mass of First Friday event. So our thoughts are, let's do something and contribute to that, and people can kind of float around and see a little bit more.
You know how they say
a
when
few more
people
vintage
go on a pub
experience.
crawl, it's more of
Art crawl.
an art crawl. You're going to different places and experiencing what all of these individual areas are offering for that as a
The Trenton
collective.
Free Library is also doing things earlier in the day on First Friday. So our collective goal is for people to come out on Fridays and hang around and visit these places and experience the art and the artists and maybe some musicians too. So our first event is going to be at the Mill Hill on June 1st, and we're looking for some artists that might be interested in displaying their work. people familiar with the Mill Hill Saloon realize that it's a beautiful Victorian-era bar with historic art and photographs on the walls. But for these events, we're going to pull some of that down, and we're going to put colorful, original art, preferably made by Trentonians.
Yeah, locals.
Yeah, we're going to rotate through the month, and we want to have early openings like 6 o'clock.
So you can come out, grab dinner.
Yeah, stay after work if you're a state worker and go around and experience a little bit more of Trenton.
Now, you know what? You mentioned the Trenton Free Library. And that's actually the next subject I wanted to bring up.
Alan, can you bring up that slide for that?
Yeah,
Alan, just do what he tells you to do.
Last week,
Can you believe this, Barry?
this is a really important thing, not only for me, but for others in Trenton that create things.
Okay.
The Trenton Free Public Library has a tremendous permanent collection on their second floor called the Trentoniana Collection. Have you ever been there?
I've never
No,
been
but you
there.
got to take your son to this. It's a historical collection of media, images, signage, art. They even have one of Benjamin Franklin's glass harmoniums in there.
I have one of those.
Yeah, you wish you had.
Actually,
I
got a harmonium.
So they've got stuff, historical stuff that dates back to, I don't know, late 1700s. And,
Wow.
And then they have other things like newspaper archives and stuff. But it's a really important, amazing room where you can visit the city's archive collection of its history and its culture. But one of the things that's sadly missing is things about our art history and music history, especially post-1950.
So you're now working in...
This is the library's project.
This is the library project, but you are...
Jock Howard and I had started something called the Trenton...
Jock's been here.
Oh, I know, yeah. He's a good friend of the
Fun guy.
and supporter of the Pork Roll Festival.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
And,
is.
so we started something called the Trenton Arts and Entertainment Hall of Fame. And originally it was a Facebook page, a way to capture and archive some of the amazing arts and entertainment achievements and products and things that people have done that may no longer be with us, or maybe they still are. But, you know, it's our city's unique history.
Right.
And I thought we should have something to capture that. So for a number of years, Jock and I started that. We didn't really get a lot of traction with it. Marge Caldwell-Wilson, our North Ward council person, helped us get that recognized by the city under a resolution. But I mean,
And it's an important...
it is. It's important stuff. Well, the library came to visit me to collect some of our Pork Roll Festival memorabilia. And I asked her, what are you using this for? And she said, well, I want a permanent exhibit that reflects and includes pop culture and arts and entertainment stuff. And I was like, the light bulb went
Yeah,
off.
right.
And I said, hey, well, you know, what we're doing, this could be a permanent home, and we can help you collect, you know, stuff that people have created. I think
Imagine the things that people have in boxes when they're cleaning stuff out.
you
We didn't know what it is. They just have it.
So there have got to be artists from 1950 to current time that have created something, you know, art, sculpture. Maybe they have a picture of what they did, or maybe they have a musical recording, an old master tape or a record. The library's interested in that stuff. You know, people can contribute and donate their art. Nobody's going to steal it or copy, or you know, it's going to
Protected environment.
safe. Yeah. It's going to be a permanent archive, a part of your permanent creative legacy, if you will.
It's creating the city is...
Yeah, can you imagine 50 years from now?
I was going to say, you'll go in there and see something that's historically accurate to the city itself. It's only Trenton's thing. It's only New Jersey.
Trenton music, Trenton made art, that kind of stuff. That's what we're interested in. So Exit 7A being so close to the library, we're just a few blocks away, we would like to help them with that.
That's awesome.
So we want to reach out to people out, your
Well, yeah,
viewers.
we put up the graphic for you so people know how to get in touch. If you missed the graphic, don't worry about it, because you can catch it on the rewind, because this will be recorded.
There you go. You can catch it right now. Apparently, producers on top of things. Producers on top of things.
Call Scott at Exit 7A. Send me an email, Scott at exit7a.com. But we want everybody's show posters, their gig posters, their recordings, anything, photography of gigs, all that kind of stuff. And I think it'll be exciting for people to.
That's going to be really
It'll
interesting.
be in a referenceable, permanent
And grouped
collection.
with the back history as well. Like,
Yeah.
so you can see it's like when they go and they dig down in glaciers and they pull up one of those long rods, and it's like ice that melted in 3 froze 40 million years ago.
Copies of this show could be in the Trentoniana collection.
I don't know if they really want to have this show in there. I'll be honest with you. They might not put like a burned DVD copy of like, you got this bootleg, but you can't watch it. But You can have the DVD.
Pretty much.
We haven't done anything foul or obnoxious yet.
Oh, you get is the key word here. Barry gets wild.
You don't want to be around him when he gets wild.
All right, so I want to move things along a little bit.
Okay.
Friends of the Battle Monument. You want to touch on that real quick? They're going to be
The
battle fix-up.
You know what the Battle Monument is?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever been up on it?
I've never been up on
No,
it.
and I'm sure your son hasn't.
Oh, no.
Absolutely not. He's 14 years old.
14, okay. Well, our Battle Monument is an important thing. It marks the point where Washington launched the invasion of Trenton, where he defeated the Hessian and British troops.
Right. That I know.
Yeah, a very important time where we first defeated the British in the American Revolutionary War. And this monument was built in 1890 with the help of John Taylor, the OG founder.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, right.
Pork rolls and everything.
Not only was he the inventor and founder of Pork Roll, but he contributed $100,000 of his own money in the building.
And in those days, $100,000.
money.
A lot of money.
I'm no astrologist or whatever it is, but I can tell you right now on a calculator, times inflation
Yeah, you got an opener for this?
plus Barry, what is that like? $1 trillion?
The Battle Monument is an observation deck.
That was off camera.
Yeah, so you can go up in the elevator and you can look out all over Trenton and learn about its history and see the industrial buildings and things.
Unfortunately, going into
It's
disrepair.
not in disrepair. You know, the elevator needs to be fixed.
Old places tend to do that, but it's about the upkeep.
It's owned and operated by the state, you know, the Washington's Crossing Park Service. And so we're trying to come up with a plan to fix this thing. It's been neglected for far too long by the city and other people in the state or whoever. We don't even care. We just want to focus on fixing it and putting it back as a historic asset for the city of Trenton and the children and the
Bring it back to
learn about
the glistening limelight where it deserves to be.
It's gonna
Make
make
it
The tourist attraction.
Yeah, you go up in this thing and then you get out on an observation deck on a platform where there's a 12-foot bronze statue of Washington, right? So it's an important thing. We have to get this fixed. So I've created a friends group on Facebook, Friends of the Battle Monument, and we've been working tightly recently with the people who helped the Princeton battlefield. I don't know if you followed that one.
No, I did not.
Well, they were able to protect and purchased the Princeton battlefield, which was slated for development. And they're turning their attention. Some of these folks, they're turning their attention to our battle monument. They're going to help us, along with the help. The Trenton Masonic Lodge, which is right on our street, on West Front Street by Exit 7A. And whoever else wants to be part of it, they can visit our Facebook page. But our goal is to rapidly figure out how to fix and reopen this battle monument so that it's not down for another night.
And you know what would be nice? It'd be nice to, when it occurs, when it gets reopened, have a nice ceremony for it. Like a grand reopening, like, let's bring the attention. Yeah, a big, like, at the monument, have it local. Just a big after party.
And when they opened the monument, it was such a spectacular thing. They had representatives and governors from the original 13 colonies.
Wow.
In fact, John Taylor, the founder of Pork Roll, spoke at the dedication of the Minuteman statue at the right of the entrance, if you've ever been there. He's missing his sword.
I don't know. I remember you mentioned that.
But it was a big event. That monument spawned development in that area that included schools, a rail line, and several hundred houses. So
Do you think that we can get a blimp for this?
for the Pork Roll Festival?
No. For the
Battle Monument?
We need
A blimp?
A Zeppelin.
To drop people
They still
off?
have Zeppelins?
We're gonna fill it with whatever blows up, so that way it's like really big fire.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
No, Jesus is not gonna be anywhere near this. Trust me. You don't want to touch that.
Jesus ever rode on a blimp. That was before his time.
Well, he was riding on dinosaurs. The next two things that I want to talk about are like a combination between
What you got?
You and my next guest. And he's anxious. I know that he's anxious. Can you feel that, Barry? He's anxious. He's on here.
Over there.
He's comfortable. You can tell it's a comfortable.
You can tell it's in a comfortable green room because we're in the green room.
Look at that background!
Wherever Jay goes, he's in the green room.
So, before I do that, should we take a break?
Yeah.
I want to do the thing.
Oh, donate! There it is.
We didn't do
Guys.
What about the skimway thing, too?
We're going to do that when we come
back
back.
because we still have to talk with Jay.
So here's what you're seeing in front of you. PayPal.me/Club Ultra. Guys, you know, we push this at least once an episode. Once on each episode. If you could donate to our PayPal, even $1 helps. It really
would be a lot better.
It'd be awesome. Hey, you know what?
They don't bill you for $5?
I said it won't kill you to give $5.
Wouldn't kill you. It wouldn't kill you.
Like I said, if there's an eccentric millionaire out there that just wants to donate a lot of money as like we're his pet project, we'll take that too.
I tried to make a donation.
Oh, look at that! We got people making donations live on the show. You know, we love those live donations. So guys,
we love what you got going on.
We're trying. We're trying hard here. You see the sledgehammers? I mean, we're not screwing around.
So guys, yeah,
that was the donation link there. If you can help us out, it'd be awesome. We're super appreciative of our bigger donors. We're going to be having a nice little shout-out compilation for those individuals in the future when we get totally organized with it. But right now, we're really interested in anything that, if at all possible, that you can give. We like making these shows for you guys. I love it. The guests love it. Most of all, Barry loves it. And he loves it. With his seal of approval, anything goes. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into the real stuff, you guys. We're getting into the real stuff. All right? This is about to be on!
I am so sick of seeing scumbags like you. Why don't you have a job?
Comfortable ass couch being stoned
This
over.
me anticipating the film.
For animals.
The first round of commercials, the microphone was on, but I got it.
I don't leave for Maximum Marcus party.
No, you're everything that's wrong with this country.
Yeah, well, it's because everything we
You're
said.
the cancer that's eating our America from the inside
We're
out.
kind of quiet though, weren't we?
You guys don't know how decent people live.
This new green screen got you all fucked up. We took down all the paper and shit.
There's a great hot shot. What are you talking about? No. I'm not gonna play your stupid little games, alright?
They bring anarchy wherever they go.
What's that?
All you rich bitches do is say, talk to me game, but you ain't got no backbone.
Cut off your hors d'oeuvre.
Oh God, I want to touch you.
That's just a typical case of the haves versus the have-nots. I mean, if the scales are balanced for too long, then eventually the deprived and oppressed will revolt.
Am I running blood-sucking bimbos or not?
No, because the premiere already happened. Next time we run that,
It's double or
will
nothing.
be
Come on, let's
when
go. No, I
there's
got it.
actually like something
I got
going
it.
on.
Alright.
How about we play a new game?
Test your mind, man.
Your move.
Gotta give Vinny a bar.
Yeah, they're rewriting.
Kings and queens think they have all the power, even though there's so few of them. The funny thing is, it only takes one club to be the king.
No, but we've got a very, very long, scripted conversation about Seamus. Seamus, right, Alan? Yeah. I got in a lot of trouble. What do you got? Capital Head? Yeah, Capital Head is King of Nowhere. You want to do a music video? Yeah, we'll take an extended break. I'm gonna go outside and. Yeah, you might as well. Really, you would? I don't think so. No. Capital Heads. Right. Yeah.
was always gonna be who I am.
Mondays, right? I like Mondays, though, actually. Sometimes I pretend I don't like Mondays. I mean, I hate to see the weekend go, especially this weekend. Great weekend I had myself. I took the kids to the lake this weekend, and, well, Sarah got seasick, but I secretly laugh when she gets seasick. She makes these noises. It's just, it's funny, because she sounds like a man. She's not a man, though. She's a woman. My daughter, Sarah. But this morning, this cup of coffee I had this morning, you have no idea. What happened was there was only a little bit of hazelnut in the pot left over. I'm already running a little late, I'll admit, so I didn't want to wait for them to brew more. Let me tell you about this cup of coffee. Couldn't wait for them to brew more because they're running late, obviously. So I took the remainder of the hazelnut, put it in my cup, and I took some vanilla cream.
What are you doing?
and mixed it with the hazelnut.
Oh yeah, it's short.
Phenomenal.
That's extreme.
Magical even. Best cup of coffee I've had in my life. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I have those videos, the Pork Roll food video.
We're not coming back, are we?
You don't have to. Hold on. But I got the Pork Roll Queen video.
Elliot, I want to talk to you about something.
The Pork Roll recipe video, the Talk Card video, the T-shirt video.
You don't really need to roll those if you don't want to.
Okay. Well, it's up to you guys.
Alright, we'll come back after this.
Alright.
Oh shit.
Am I leaving my hanging here? Or?
You can do whatever you want.
I want to hang out with them.
You're gonna have to slide down the couch.
Yeah. We need to have a
Oh yeah. I got the water back here for you.
You know how I told you about when your father and I first met and we instantly fell in love with each other?
Yeah, just take the bag, man. I don't care about it.
Like I'll even say, you know, we support the legalization of cannabis and the medical marijuana.
That's why I said the next two things are talking about
like you could,
the Trenton elections and marijuana. So
the segue could be Scott talking about marijuana because he's, I mean, for the whole movement and all that shit too. So that could segue me into how, like, we started a relationship.
Works for me.
Die with me, in case I'm wrong.
Time is it?
Your father didn't die.
Oh, it's only been an hour. We still got like 30 minutes. Wonderful. Right on time.
What?
I'm sorry.
What
How's
do
the
you
chat,
mean he
Alan?
didn't die? He died somewhere else. He's alive?
Unless he died somewhere else and I didn't know about it.
Mom, why did you lie to me?
He screamed that he had heard the truth, that he had seen God.
It's not uncommon for someone to have a profound religious
This person's
experience
up.
on the battlefield. Lots
The
of
person,
people claim to
her
hear
name is
from
Marlise
God.
Beauchamp. You see what she just posted? It's 3:54 a.m. She's going to bed.
Was it God that he saw that day?
Yeah, like you stayed up to fucking 4 o'clock in the morning to watch this?
Are you ready to come back?
Fuck yeah. We're back! Life with a twist. I'm Nick Twist. That's my co-host Barry. That's Alan, who you can't see. That was the donate flyer for a second there. We're here
with Scott Miller.
With Scott Miller.
That's beer, dude.
Woo! On his 37th beer.
And we got a special guest artist.
We got another special guest coming
spilling
on.
the beans.
Yeah, go ahead and just take over the show, Scott. You got Alan working for you now. Barry probably just had a private conversation with you. You got looking all shady over there in the corner. So, you know, it's not my show anymore. I know I tell everyone it's your show when you're on, but damn, it's my word for real. Let me talk. Nah, you're
Get
good.
twisted, man.
You're good. You're good.
All right, so what's up
What?
next, man?
What the hell is happening? What happened there?
Time of love, man.
Whoa!
You don't exist, man.
Oh my God! I can't believe it. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. Barry, sit still. Oh my God! All right, that's enough for pretending. I don't even know what that was, but it fits this episode perfectly.
It's shit happens.
And so,
What's up, man? What you got on the agenda here?
well, it's interesting. My agenda ties into my next guest, who you already are familiar with. I'm familiar with through various events and time portals or whatever you want to call it. So what we got here is you wanted to talk about some Mary Jane.
Possibly.
It's coming to New Jersey.
It's coming
what
to
I
New
hear.
Jersey. Yeah.
So
It's been promised.
legalization of marijuana, and I'm going to stop it right there because I want to welcome my next guest, Mr. Jason Arnold! You guys got to switch places now.
Yeah, you're up.
You're up. You're in the hot seat. And he left it hot, too, because you know he's been sitting there the whole time.
Yeah, nonsense.
Yeah, sit as close to this as you can. Yeah, get all up on there. There you go. Look at it. You got the whole couch and you're sitting right on top of him. That's how you know it's love.
Thanks again for these gummies, man. These are
Hey, I'd like to try to please. Got the little tiny hands. We got little tiny hands. Little tiny ones.
Little tiny hands.
Ooh. That's a spicy, a little spicy. Yeah, it's a little spicy. So, the reason I wanted to
do that nice little segue there is Mr. Arnold, Jay, Jason, all the things, is you are a big activist when it comes to legalization of marijuana, probably in general, but especially in New Jersey, in the core of New Jersey, Trenton as the home base. Mr. Miller, you were about to say, what, are you for or against?
Oh, I'm totally for it.
Totally for legalization?
Absolutely.
And
I support New Jersey's medicinal marijuana program and the future things that the governor looks forward to, full legalization.
Well, it's nice to know that we have your support on the pro side, because I'm pro as well.
All right, but
and that sounds like you might be pro.
Before we get too deep in it, there's been
I'm going to backtrack. We're going to backtrack.
A lot of tossing around of the word marijuana. Like,
okay.
Before we get into getting too deep, I want to break down the word marijuana, because marijuana is a term that just needs to totally be erased from the books. Like people need to stop using the term.
Let's call it cannabis.
Marijuana. Yeah, cannabis.
Cannabis. All right.
You know, marijuana is just it
has some negative connotations.
Totally a made up word. Like the word marijuana never even existed until the whole prohibition and propaganda started.
So they just made up a thing to call it to make it a negative.
They're cannabis. When we're talking about cannabis, there's many different strands and variations grown throughout the country that have different effects and different things of that nature. So there was a strain, a distant strain of the cannabis plant that was grown in Mexico. And that was labeled as the local weed. It was marijuana. It's some shit. I don't know, but the
name stuck.
Yeah, it's it's right on the tip of your tongue. I know.
Yeah,
we've all been there. Calm down. Ooh, Barry, calm down.
Yo, I love this guy, man. He is such an awesome addition to the show.
He is the star. He's the star of the show.
Is there any chance that you gave him marijuana before the show started? Is there any chance?
We're a clean show.
The state that Barry is constantly in, I don't know what brings that
natural
on.
state.
We never know what's going on around here, so no one would be surprised.
And
there will be those that would be shocked. Alan, you'd be shocked. So let me rewind you a little bit there. One of the first things was that you worked downtown at New Jersey Weedman's joint.
That's right,
years.
Jason.
Yeah, that's where you guys met.
Yeah, we met up there.
All right. So, what was your role there, and what was your experience while working there?
It brought me to a whole nother plane of existence. It opened me up to a whole nother world. Because I used cannabis. I probably started when I was about 14, 15. And I always just smoked the smoke. It was just something I enjoyed doing. But I first met the NJ Weedman joint about 2014, 2015 maybe. No, 2014. He had a smoke out rally at the State House downtown Trenton.
I recall.
The first time you met him?
Yeah, 20 that. He never popped.
I've known Ed since 2000. Long time.
He never popped. Nobody cares. I mean, if you're a pothead, you smoke. Oh, NJ Weed Man. Anybody's a weed man. But when he's having a rally and they're gonna be smoking in public or whatever, that got my antennas. I didn't want to be a part of it. I just had to check it out. They're not really gonna be smoking out in front of the State House and all this.
Did you know I loaned them the PA system for that first event?
I did not know that.
I didn't
Scott Miller.
He's got a little hand in
Yeah, he's always behind the scenes and in the cut. That's how I started.
Looking over the shoulder,
people want to do progressive, positive things. I'll support them.
But see, you have to be out on the front lines. I mean, that's how I took it. At that first rally, I heard him speak, and I heard other activists that were in the movement, and I heard about the medical program. I never knew of in New Jersey there was a medical marijuana program. So I'm learning all these things, and it just seemed so interesting and so new. Why isn't anybody else talking about this? This is my first time seeing the NJ Weed Man, and he's been doing this for over 20 years. and I'm in my like early 30s, and I've never heard of them. So
not to mention being local on top of that.
Exactly.
Someone in your own city that you
frequent. Wasn't originally from Toronto.
Yeah, like he's like Sicklerville area.
Yeah.
But so he.
How long has he been local then?
Not until he opened up
2014.
Not until he opened up.
Yeah.
Okay. That does make sense.
Yeah. So like I
might not necessarily run into him, but for
even
the size of the stuff that he's.
But even the whole story, the marijuana movement, like you have people in California that have been doing this since the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Like this has been an ongoing fight, and there are like countless people out here fighting for it. But you rarely hear about it unless you're inside the movement. So like I automatically just got attached and like seeing what's going on. And when he established the Liberty Bell Temple 3, like the cannabis temple, this was like a sanctuary for like people who like smoke cannabis like out in the open, or like behind closed doors, or they're like tiptoeing about the idea like what cannabis is all about. Like this was like really that safe haven for any and everybody to come into. And like my role there, I started out by like helping them like take pictures of the events and like filming and things of that nature. But like I got drawn into the
movement.
Yeah, like from.
I guess when you see the momentum from the other activists and realize that there's a bigger than what you knew.
Like you got to understand, like for the urban community, like activism is always going to be scary. Like like we brown skinned people, like we have this thing. Like we like lash out to an extent. Like in the urban communities, you always hear about black on black violence, but you rarely hear about the black people like lashing out at the cops, attacking cops. Like we are activists to a certain point. But what NJ Weed Man brought to this town, like it was like no fucks given. Like I am right. Like I have the right to say what I want. I have the right to freedom of religion. Like these are my rights. Like y'all can't say anything. And like that was the energy that I got. Sucked up in. And it was right. Like still, even to this day, he's been in jail for like 15 months now for crimes that he's not been convicted of. Like. And just bullshit crimes like all together, because this is what he stand up for. And
meanwhile, we have a statewide progressive movement that the governor supports.
Yeah, well, we look at that, like, and that's that's a big, having a new governor coming in that is.
Ed was way
big on that.
It was way ahead of the movement. Now we've got, it's a national.
You've got a governor on your side, pretty much.
We don't need people locked up in jail
for this kind of stuff
like this.
Yeah. It is ridiculous, and it's a shame. And it's a shame that it's gone on this long, even on a national level. But like you said, 15 months with nothing locked down to hold them there like that.
Bail.
Like what kind of backwards ass shit is that? Like it's ridiculous, man.
But shit,
hopefully the national sentiment is changing. And
this is his second trial. Like the first time he went to trial, like he won the one charge, and then he had a hung jury on the other charge. And like that was kind of a drawn out process, that first trial. But this trial, today was like day 4, and I think Tuesday might be the last day. Like the jury might deliberate by Tuesday, and he might be coming home. This trial is looking real good for him.
Good.
I'm proud of him, man. Like
Jay, you should speak a little bit. Jay is a legal medical marijuana patient, right?
Oh
yeah. I have things on my list here, but Scott's running the show, as we said.
This is really an important thing here. New Jersey has evolved. We have a legal medical marijuana system here where patients can legally apply and buy and purchase and use cannabis here in the state. And
did you ever think you would live a day in time?
Where'd you go?
I blew off my shit.
He thinks he's running everything. You see
this guy.
What do you want now?
Water.
Oh, man, what?
Oh, water.
Here. You know what? Take the water. You know what? I'm going to stop us all in the middle of everything right now.
Alan, put the brakes on. Do we have brakes? We're gonna have to get an air brake sound. So it's pretty traditional on this show to get down with some shots.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like we're about to hit some heavy good
It's time to
stuff.
celebrate, right?
It's time to celebrate because we just said it. It's a time for celebration.
You got one more dummy thing.
Who?
Is he doing stuff over there?
Oh, he likes to stay hydrated. He maintains it. Actually, if everyone could just maintain their hydration real quick, that would be fantastic for the show.
What do you got? A special bottle of water with the
Well, you ran out of bottles. You took all of them from me.
That's like a $7 bottle of water. Are you foo-foo?
Cost me $1.
You bougie?
It's $1.
Come on, man.
This was $1.
What's this? Why do I get this?
Because I bought that with the hopes that I was going to go home and drink it. Because it was $1. Actually, there were 2 for $2. So I got 2 of those for $2. All right. Why are we talking about the water? Let's get these shots over. Yeah. You see how he was trying to force me? Those are sake because I don't have any non-labeled shot glasses.
Sake.
And they just kind of fit in with the show because of the whole tablecloth and
This is top shelf, right?
My grandmother makes it in her
Not get sponsored for it yet. Cut the check, then we talk about it.
Yep, that's how it works around here.
All right.
Cut the check.
Barry, maintain your hydration. He sure is. You know, Barry, right now, stay on Barry for a second. You look like a 1990s school picture. It's just animated.
The tunnel of love right there, I think.
Oh! Round of applause for the enthusiasm. Guys, let's do this.
All right, shots.
Mr. Miller, you understand?
That's it.
Losing my voice and everything. Guys, what do we...
We're going to drink the pork roll and marijuana tonight, right?
No! Pork roll and cannabis.
Pork roll and cannabis, yeah.
Pork roll and cannabis. Here we go, gentlemen. It makes you almost want to react like how Roger Rabbit reacted when he first tried alcohol.
Hydration, people, stay hydrated.
Yes, stay hydrated, please. If you're out there right now, get your hydration
Can
going.
we turn to a wide shot for a second? Not to get busted, but Scott, if you can see how much space is over there.
There's a lot of room.
Get your ass over
It's unreasonable for him to be under his armpits all the time.
It works.
I hate to tell you, you can still have a conversation from those 6 inches that you It's not going to affect anything. All right. So, a lot of people don't know what legalization means. And we were having that discussion off camera earlier a little bit. So, what do you think people need to know about what legalization means?
Let them know about what's legal right now.
Okay, what can they do right now currently in case they're interested? Like you said, applying, just go to the New Jersey website and stuff. Like you would know.
The reality of being a legal cannabis patient right now.
All right, it's
2018.
Hey, man, step up, Scott!
As far as right now, New Jersey does have a medical marijuana program, and
It's only been around for a few years, though, right?
2010. It's been around since
Okay.
2010. So
It was a lot more stringent, though, wasn't it?
yes.
Then, yeah.
Up until recently, is just opened up a bit with Phil Murphy. Is helping to establish that nearly any doctor can prescribe and like recommend for the program. Like that helped out a lot. The recommendations before, like you would have to be on your deathbed, like cancer,
Right, it was like
AIDS,
really
things of that nature. But
advanced
like,
things.
like even myself, like I got into the program for PTSD. And like anybody who's interested in the program, I usually recommend if you grow up in the inner city, like you have PTSD, like if you ever heard like gunshots in the middle of the night, if you ever like seen dead bodies,
Traumatizing.
Like little
stress
little
is a
things.
qualifying condition right now, right?
Stress, nah, it would be anxiety. Anxiety would qualify. Chronic pain qualifies. Tourette's, I think Tourette's passed. like there, if you could check out like all of the conditions are on the website for the.
Now, would you like people to go? I was just saying, would you rather them go to the Department of Health, or would you rather them? Do you have a central hub where they can go and like the information is there? Go get it.
I prefer to send people straight to the source, so
Okay.
they know it's authentic. Like every time I talk and give people information, I give them references to go straight to the source.
Well, the only reason I was saying that because if you guys had it like an activist page and all the information on what you do was there, that's the only reason why I asked. But if you're just like, here, go here. This is where you're going to get your information. It's the Department of Health's website for the state.
Yeah, because like me being a part of the trend cannabis community, you can follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, but like we have a lot of affiliates. Like one of our major affiliates being the Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey. Like their main basis is advocating for patients, making sure that the legislative is putting proper bills through, like being compassionate to the patients. And mainly over there, we have the NJUMR, the New Jersey United Marijuana Reform, and like that is a coalition of New Jersey prosecutors, lawyers, pastors,
all with the same goal in mind.
All of the same goal. Like this is like so much more than just getting high and like stoners.
There's so many more benefits that are out there for usage that
Talk to
are.
them about what Breakwater has, their variety and the things that.
All right, I could talk about Breakwater in reference to like what is legalization, what will legalization look like. With Breakwater is a dispensary in Cranberry, New Jersey. With regulation, dispensaries aren't like when people don't know about cannabis, they have a perception of dispensaries like it's a 7-Eleven and just stoners out hanging around and anybody could just go get weed and it turns the neighborhood into this like crazy place.
I mean, in my experience on documentaries and such that I've seen from other areas that have fully legal, it's very septic environment.
It's very strict. Like you can't even.
I would say that pharmacies don't look as pristine on the inside as these places look. These are very, it reminds me of like a sterile environment. You know what I mean? Like very clean edges, everything.
If you smoke cigarettes, you can't even work in a dispensary because the sterilization process is so important. But to get back into it, like what is regulation? When you buy from a dispensary, like when you get your medicine from a dispensary, you know exactly what you're getting. Like not like on the black market. You get proper readouts of your percentage of THC, CBD, CBDN, CBDNG. Like I mean different like so you know specifically what is like for your ailments or like for your pleasure, whatever you want to medicate for, you know exactly what is in your medicine. Like that is regulation. Like, yeah.
Right now, is that like a thing, or is that like depending on the place where they give you like a description on this one is generally for this, or this one is generally for that? Do different strains or different, you know? I'm not familiar with all the lingo and stuff. When you go in there and you have a choice,
right?
You obviously want to get something that's fitting for what you are ailing from.
Right.
So it purchase whatever you want.
God damn it, Scott! Damn it, Scott! Oh, what are you doing now? Barry's leaving? Oh, it's over. Oh, he can't even handle you. Oh, Alan, Barry left. Oh, man. Well, see you later, Barry.
He's already gone.
He's already gone. Look, I think he just spit out. He just spit out in that parking lot in his car. I had no idea that he had a red vet. Oh, my God. So, yeah, thanks a lot, Scott. Here's the question. Ready? I'm going to get right to it.
Let's go.
You go in there and you have your selection, and you are having a particular ailment where you are anxious and can't get to sleep at night, so you want something that relaxes you and calms your nerves so you can fall asleep. When you go in there, you have knowledgeable staff that point you in the direction of which strains, am I correct in this terminology? Which strains are closer to what you're looking for your needs. They can guide you there. But as Scott was putting, they're not going to say your ailment is only for this, because everybody's body reacts differently to everything. So it's mostly like trial and error, but it's like when they say, I don't even want to compare it to that, but it's like everybody has their own individual feelings on the way things are going to affect them. So what works for you for sleep might not make me sleepy. What works for you for pain might not necessarily work for me for pain.
And even aside from strains, like the way to ingest the cannabis.
Right, it's not just smoking.
Exactly. It's not just smoking. You can like get a topical in which you could rub on your skin, like wherever it's ailing you at. You can get a tincture when you could just, drop a couple drops of oil in your mouth and believe whatever your ailments are. Like there's many different ways to reap its benefits, I guess. Like
so it shouldn't be. I want to reference what you said earlier about like just an archaic way of thinking about it, and a terminology that should not even be used currently to describe what this product is out there, especially with the regulation and whatnot. So you want to say it's like a new birth of like. Eliminate that word. Marijuana doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Cannabis is a real thing. That's what you want to research.
Because
it's not about, I'm not trying to cut you off. It's not about smoking a joint or rolling a blunt or getting a bowl or a bong. It's not even about that culture at all. There is a completely separate way of getting what you need from this, and the products are available. They're ready to go. They're on the shelves. In other states where it's already legal, even recreationally, it's all there. So New Jersey's like medically is the only way you can get it out of a dispensary at this point.
Yeah, right now.
And they're obviously, from my understanding, working on legislature to move forward with how they're going to legalize it recreationally. Because from my understanding is the medical patients will always come first in this circumstance, and that's really where they have to have the fine print, I guess, because you obviously, as a medical need, would want to be first considered somebody that's just going
for a long couple years, I was against the whole medical program. Like I've just recently joined the medical program, but for years I was against it because I am an activist, and I believe in cannabis. Cannabis can do no wrong.
Right,
cannabis
cannabis
is a wonder medicine. And like how the system and the industry is moving right now, they latch on to the medical side, like, okay, this is how we can reintroduce cannabis, and this is how we can make money on it, and this is how we can change the wording and everything to make it look good. And that's how it's being introduced now. But even the word like recreational, like they're introducing legalization as the recreational. We have medical and recreational. What is recreation? Fun, fun, enjoying. Why the hell would they use terminology like adult use is the terminology? But terminology is so important. I want to go back to marijuana. Now, terminology is so important because when we're talking about cannabis, we have marijuana, we have hemp, we have cannabis, we have weed. Now, all of these words are the same thing, but they have different meanings.
Right.
Like when you say marijuana is usually used in legal terminology.
Okay.
Legal terminology mean we arrested him with such and such ounces or such and such pounds of marijuana. Hemp, the word hemp is the same plant, but different terminology. Hemp is used in industrial terminology.
Yeah.
When we're talking about fibers, we're talking about products, we're talking about in industrial
creative things. Sustainable resource.
Yes,
in itself.
Yes. Like but terminology is so important.
I think it's funny because going back to the medical aspect of calling it medical as an introduction, it's always about what the bigger businesses are ready for.
Right.
So now the pharmacy medical side of things. They're like, oh, well, that's cheap as shit for us to do, but we got to get it all. We got to control it all first and regulate it how we want.
Make it make sense.
So we can make the most amount of money off of it while they, everybody else kind of gets steamrolled in the process. And it kind of goes back to what I feel your feeling is there's nothing wrong with this plant. You've demonized it for absolutely no reason.
Right.
People should be able to do what they want with it under reasonable usage. And reasonable usage, anybody can mark themselves for regional usage. There's going to be individuals in anything that's out there. So you can't just say, you want to slap an age restriction, fine, but look at alcohol.
But but even age restriction, like when we're talking about medical cannabis, the people who most benefit from medical are the children, are the kids.
My thing is
like, have you ever
recreationally is the term that we were going with, but
yeah,
do you feel that should be a regulated age? Obviously, if a child is in need, and because it's medical on this side of the fence, they're allowed to do it. Now, you obviously don't like the gray area that doesn't exist in the middle where it's supposed to be both things for everybody. They wanted to make a hard distinction between the two things, right?
Right.
And I know it's not sitting comfortable with you. I can tell.
So politically correct right now. But I'm a cowboy, America. I'm a cowboy.
You can drop the F-bomb. I only have one, I think.
My ideas and views are so radical and untraditional, but at the same time, I represent a lot of different organizations and a lot of different groups. So
you're involved in a multitude of other projects as well. I should say, even though your biggest thing is your activism based on the cannabis community. But you work with Scott Miller at 7A.
I started my activism. In 2012, and cannabis was like nowhere near a motivation or inspiration. It started when a good friend of mine had got killed in a drive-by shooting, something that he didn't have anything to do with. He was just like a random person there.
And it's a bystander.
And it wasn't even him that sparked it. It was people that knew him. And like he told a lot of people about me, like how I used to help him with like problems and situations and shit. And I was just like a good influence. So when he passed away, like other people reached out to me and like was like, you're a good dude. Like, you in the community. You help people out. Like, yo, you need to start a show or get on the radio, something like that. And like I started to do that, but then I fell back because I wanted to like learn more about the city, like who was actually doing things and what things were getting done, what things weren't getting done. Like that's how I actually started. Like actually caring, because like Trenton, I'm Trenton born and raised. Like I love the shit out my city, but there's this major disconnect. Like when you're talking about residents and you're talking about the politicians and the establishment.
Right. Okay.
I could go on. I don't know.
Right.
Where are we going?
You know what? But it's all linked together.
Yeah.
And just to pull off what you said with legislation and politicians, it's nice to see people at the high level of office in New Jersey on your side, in a sense.
Yeah.
On the issue of legalizing this for everyone.
Oh yeah, that could segue into Reed Goussier, because like we started the Trenton cannabis community.
I was just gonna ask you about that. Yep. So you see where I was going.
Me, Phil, and my lady Laura, we started the Trenton cannabis community like after the NJ Weed Man's joint like started to fizzle down, and like he was in jail. But like there was this whole big movement. Like we've been advocating, having rallies, and like doing all of this to get cannabis legalized and like make people aware. And like once he went away, we like, bitch, we can't let this like movement die. Like, this still needs to happen. So
everything that's been building,
right.
Someone has to take the torch.
Yeah, we're still
burning.
Legalization, like, it's still coming. And like the inner city of Trenton, like people are unaware. Like people don't know like what the fuck is going on with it. So we started the Trenton cannabis community. and like you use that as a way to like let people know like what legalization means, like how can you be a part of it. Like the urban communities have been the victims of like this drug law, these fucking bullshit ass rules like forever. And like now there's actually legalization. Like, okay, I mean, you, your mom, your dad, your grandpa, everybody's been going to jail for weed or being in possession or smoking.
Nah, he just gets up and leaves.
But now,
what's this, get up and leave night?
Like now,
get up and leave.
Oh, get that pork roll shit out of here. Talking about new weed.
You know what? That's a good him getting up and going to the bathroom. We have some video spots that you gave to us here.
Yeah.
Why don't we run some of them? Maybe we can have a little bit of discussion about what's there, and then we're going to talk about the election because I feel like you both were passionate about that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be good. But we're going to touch on it. So, producer, do you want to run that spot?
Yeah.
Or am I going to have to come over there and run it for you?
Pedophile police officers interfering with free speech. This is protected. If it wasn't protected, he would have arrested me. Brian, stupid nigga.
I want to make chicken available to citizens of Trenton.
I said.
The only thing is,
One police officer. Mr. Fortune, there's no chicken wings here at 11 p.m.
1 o'clock in the morning. You can't do that.
No.
Oh, you guys got this weed man bus.
You want me to play average day?
Yeah, we run you got 2 things to run?
This is what happens when you just try to.
And no chicken wings after 11.
How many? All right, run the next 2, and then we'll try to wrap it up.
They stole my camera system, raided me, fabricated.
We're running over time. We got to wrap it up.
How they gonna shut us down?
We'll touch on the election.
I saw you on YouTube.
You're disappointed in this. Just shake your head in unison and just like, you can do that. That's all you'd say. Just big ass for the election in Trenton.
I'm serious.
You guys think?
It all works.
You guys can do that.
This already been a great
Black City.
Oh, yeah.
Black
Put it in
Nation.
at the end. Be like, we took
Black City Council.
You can do better.
Black Council Nation.
You're not going to get super political.
They
We're
sell
just
chicken
going to say, you can do better.
After 11.
You guys are directly from the city. You're going to tell them. We've all seen those numbers. I live my family. But if I didn't have that, if I didn't get stuck there in my predicament that I didn't be there, if I didn't have a kid, it's really what it came down to, because I'm like a full-time single dad. So, like, yeah, without my family, because I don't get what the dick from his mom.
As you can see, the sign is on.
I'm just buying my sign.
I'm here, opening the door. Fuck the police. No chicken wings after 11 p.m. Said policeman. Yes, sir, Mr. Charlie. Hell no, said weed man. Go back.
Let's go to the mill. It's more familiar. It's like Cheers for me.
Joint life.
Oh, because he's got a neighbor downstairs. He's worried about the time. I can go to the theater! So you don't want to disturb him. Like a couple shows ago, frickin' dude was in here banging a sled down on the ground. I'm like, oh,
Involved in the marijuana movement.
And who's going to make the joint?
wait a minute, don't lay it down.
Stop it. Stop it. Get the fuck out of my face. Fuck you.
Yo, I'm high as shit.
Get off. Latest Joint Boy Adventures. Finally gracing us with his appearance today. Let's see what he has to say. How he wants to start off his day.
Fuck the law.
Russian and shit.
I came to smoke it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just follow me, America. I'm not a talker. I'm a doer. What's up
Movie
next?
trailer that ran the
Next task is to build a suggestion box. Everybody got a goddamn opinion or something that they want to say about the motherfucking joint or their feelings. Excuse me, sir, Mr. Del Gambino. Oh, y'all was out here, so I might as well start with y'all. And if anybody got any suggestions or anything we need to change or work on at the joint that I could address or we can address, or anybody here could address, y'all could address it to the go for. Greeted by Chef John. Talk to America.
Yes. Hello, America. How are you?
Alright, cool.
I just found a stash of wood, a nice little collection of wood over here. We're going to see if we can find some nice pieces to start with these suggestion boxes. Alright, yeah, so my battery's damn near dead, but give y'all a quick 2-second, overview of it. All right, GoPro number 2. So is that ready to go? Boom, boom. Round 2. This is what we're walking into.
We're having a powwow about the United States.
Whatever is in the water. And that's what I'm saying.
Hey, you want some steps?
Oh.
That was like 8 steps still.
I like this. I like because it just.
Alright, let's see how far I made
Still
it.
in
These
steps.
shit.
We all knew it was going to be a short-lived moment in time.
I'm new at this, people. I'm new at this. Got one? That looks alright.
We over here and everybody's just looking. Nobody asking me, chef, nobody any questions. That's what I'm talking about. This, you know what? This right here has 16 beans with chicken.
America needs to know what you do when you're giving tours and how this whole thing's going and such. Talk to America.
All right, America, we're about to start from the beginning. Welcome to New York Degree Managed Joint. This is a sanctuary and it's Kuma approved. Paperwork is correct. Step into our sanctuary area. Starting on Saturdays in this courtyard. Cannon bash happens here. A lot of movements to share and spread amongst the cannabis community in this very yard.
That's awesome, man.
This right here.
This is really good. Like, I'm really glad that we
The
have
price is $25 a month.
to show people
You have
like.
access to this area and our friends.
For them to know we're
Hello, America. I'm still working.
Cost plates at all for certain viewers to be like, this is what they
Various
do.
artwork and drawings on the walls here. A lot of these come from members.
Yeah,
Volunteers all the time. Make sure
you know what I mean? Like, oh, because he wasn't bothering anybody? That must have been the problem.
Discuss a lot of ideas and also plans to improve the city of Trenton one step at a time by collectively getting communities involved, working towards a similar goal.
It's just fucked up. It is. It's just so fucked up. Like,
This is our
when I
members
sit
only
back and think
headshot.
about
We
shit
come
like
here
that,
and do
man, it's
raps,
just like,
magazines, t-shirts.
and that's a taught thing. You know what I mean? Like, nobody just grows up feeling like they need to be this, that, and the other. You're taught that by someone older than you. Like, when I didn't even know racism was until
Our members are congregating in support, show love to the joint, and to exercise their right to meditate.
Right outside.
Right
Have shit to say.
We're all in love.
They were like,
Dickhead, young boy.
all the way out
Stupid
there.
young
type
boy,
stuff,
dickhead.
you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, I didn't know.
Now I have a
She
system.
did that.
You see this, America? This is number 3. This is number 3.
Then all of a sudden you're introduced to
3. Now we
So the
got hands on
concept
deck.
becomes
But that's how it usually goes.
a reality that's
Usually
not
goes
even
in my
real.
life, America.
It's not even real. Like, no, like, why are we making
Alright,
an
America.
invisible
I'll call it a
line?
day, America. I heard you with these shenanigans and such.
Talked about it, and it comes down to generalization. It's a sign of low intelligence.
Yo, I'm high as shit.
It's just, yeah, it's just,
Republicans just walked in.
and it goes beyond a stereotype to force an entire group of individuals to only think that no matter what, because your skin color is different, everything about you is problematic and you need to be stopped. It's fucking absurd. Like,
details of a porn star. Be watching and living it as I go along.
America, but continue to listen to the soundtrack. Love trip. That's where we at on that. Because you really never know trip on Earth.
That's cool.
June 19th, 1865 is when they actually surrendered. And on that day, all
all slaves were free. So that should be the day. I would first argue that I could be the judge of any.
And I was working there all day, and I was working at the parking authority at night. So at the end of this, like at 10 o'clock, which I got
a phone number. Let me get a shot at smoking weed. Both of y'all are talking some sense.
So I was working this shit.
Except Benjamin Scott. Hello to America.
What up? Say hello
and I loved it, man. I had no fucking complaints. I wasn't exhausted or mad. I'm
doing something
living this shit.
yeah.
Like, yo, like every week, a different news company or a different
everybody America. I'm trying to fit too much shit in. I gotta be
backpacking from like all over the
and
country.
go
Like,
fucking go Google whatever.
You should go pay for it now. Let it go. Never been a Jersey, never been a Trenton, but like
familiar with the brand.
Let it go. Get it down and plug it in. All right.
They talk about once in a lifetime experience.
Yo, I wouldn't give it up.
It sounds like that's the type of deal that you experience there.
Like, this is nothing I want to address. Everybody think I'm so hostile and
think about it. You have nothing but positive things to say. You say nothing but positive things in this video, and they took it all away for political bullshit and racism.
I have John Jr. I recommend this to a lot of people. I have cardinal rules myself that I don't, often put out there. But one of my cardinal rules is always flex purpose, not power. Even if you have the power, always flex purpose. So even though, my power might seem, whatever, fuck you, America. I ain't got shit.
Come back here. Come back.
Tell me when they gonna legalize me.
All the time, man, because I want to keep that creative shit.
There we go. We're in the thing again. We are in space.
All right, we're back to normal now. So guys just saw a couple videos there. You know, Mr. Arnold over here, Jason Arnold. I don't know what it is, but it's cool, right?
Yeah, because
it is.
It looks like the flower of life.
Yeah, I'm happy in the sacred geometry.
Yeah. Now there's bubbles and rainbows.
Awesome.
So we just rated a couple spots. You've been quiet. You know why you've been quiet? You feel bad about Harry.
Look at that wide shot again.
What the fuck? Come on. Right on top of us. Yeah, he kicked out the bedroom and sat right underneath him again. Come on, it's summertime almost. Can't you have the arrow in here because it mess up all our audio?
You guys are all out of gummy hands.
Well, yeah. No more gummy hands for you. All right. So, positive things downtown. They took it all away. You saw it. Everybody saw it in the video. Hashtag Joint Life.
He's coming back.
Right.
Like that's
he said he's got a following. He's got the people behind him, and you said the way things are going right now legally.
Listen, if people out there watching are like unaware of who NJ Weedman is, like please Google him, go to his Facebook, Twitter, website. Check him out. Like he's been leading this movement for 20 plus years. And as we speak, like he's still in, not as we speak, but yeah, he's facing trial right now, and there's no court on Fridays, but they will come back on Tuesday. I left court early today, so I didn't see like where they ended off at, but I believe they're done with witnesses and like they gave their closing statements. So Tuesday,
deliberation.
Yeah, Tuesday might be the last day, and keep y'all fingers crossed. NJ Weedman, come on.
Bring it back, right? Yeah. Bring it back. Bring back. Bring back.
I won't be there if they bring it back. Community. I'm not going to speak on that because that's.
Here's what we're going to do. I want one last statement. Because we have.
Oh, by the way, let me just mention in passing. Hey guys, welcome to season 2 of Life with a Twist. I'm your host, Nick Twist. This is season 2, episode 1. So there you go. We didn't tell you about that last time because we didn't feel like you were worthy of knowing that it was the end. We got to be quiet a little bit. We're going to comment down. What is your guys' take? Just a real quick takeaway on the 2018 Trenton election that just happened. What do you feel, Scott? Quick takeaway.
Well,
Quick takeaway.
There's two good men. But the big thing is that people need to get out and vote. We have voter complacency issues and trends, and people have died for our right to vote here. But we only had 8,000 people out of a city with 80-some thousand people turn out and vote. So it doesn't matter who you vote for. It's important. But it's important to get out and vote. And that's the most important thing I can stress here. Jay and I here might have some difference in opinion on who we're going to vote for, but we got the same opinion that people got to get out and vote. Who the next leader of our city is going to be.
Wonderful. And as you are done, I feel like it's ceremonial to be like, thank you for that closing statement, Mr. Miller. You know you got rid of Barry. I think I'll let it go.
Oh, shit.
Got that sledgehammer? And real quick, is there anywhere on social media you want people to look for you?
Exit78.com, PorkRollFestival.com. What you got, Jay?
Jay first, Trent election.
Oh, sure.
Your feelings on it. If you break that camera, I'm going to break you.
For the Trenton elections, I've been loving the elections so far.
I'm wrecking everything.
You are wrecking an old speech.
I know, well, sit down here for an hour. Sit down. Sit down over there.
Scott Miller is lit.
That's it. Don't be lit.
I don't trust it.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Sit real close again. No, say it again. This guy, I'm not letting him steal the thunder with all sledgehammer stuff.
Vote, people. Vote.
Right.
Vote, please. Just
You can do that.
regardless of who you're voting for. Please, let's just get bigger numbers out there this time. Like both candidates that we got going are like both good, reputable, respectable people. Like I know who I'm voting for. Like the same person that I voted for in the last. But both of these guys are good people. Like I mean, no slander, no back talk. I'm glad that Trenton has made the distinction between these two candidates. Like there were also other candidates. I mean, I felt like qualified that would have also made good mayors. But just please, people, get out and vote, and I mean, let your voice be heard.
Sir? No, that's fine. You're gonna get the debate.
Yeah, just making sure.
Yeah, no. You're gonna fight back. We're gonna have to take this guy down. There we go. It's like passing of a torch. Only it's
Thank you. I'm
fresh, right?
I'm glad it's new. So
You got that new metal
and my fingerprints on it.
Keep that in your center console. You never know when you might need it to change a tire or rearrange a Play-Doh factory. So guys, get back in here on the wide shot only because I want to get all these sledgehammers together. Right in the center here.
All right. Guys, thanks for hanging out. We had an extra long episode because it's season 2.
Thanks for hanging out. Roll that outro. We're holding on.
Thanks, guys. And I feel like because it was the first episode of the new season, going over was okay. We have a justification in the back alley, you know? It was a great show. And so that's what I love. Like, and exactly, we still did goofy shit.
Bring some substance here,
you know what I'm saying? We still did goofy shit. Yeah, but we also got the real meat.
We got some information.
I like this one. It is. First of all, it's mostly the community watching right now. Yeah. It's mostly people from the area. And that's fantastic. So at least it's centric around what they already know or might be close enough proximity to be familiar. But even people that are watching from out of town can still be entertained by the show.
You can even split this in 2 parts.
And because it's a New Jersey
you might want to
thing,
do that. You might want to split it in part 1 and part 2.
Nah, it's cool. Just let that shit run the whole way. We don't want to lose any viewers to that. Right. But like I said, you know how it is. New Jersey's like one of those. It's hip to do the New Jersey thing. Jersey Shore show, and they had
everything that's really
movies that were taking place in New Jersey, Garden State. So like being from New Jersey, doing New Jersey shit, and putting it out there.
Well, you guys know,
people love to look in with like a little a telescope. Like, what are they doing over there?
Vice News is running a big story on weed and Trenton and medicinal marijuana on next Wednesday, I think. So this might mention this again. It's gonna air before the election. It might be within the next 2 weeks.
I got you, mother.
Alan, did anybody like, comment, and share?
This one was long. You might catch that more on the back side.
We always catch more on the back.
I don't know
Like, it'll take probably about 10, 15 minutes to render.
You want to
You'll
know?
already see, like, people
You want
already
some
have
information?
hundreds of views, probably.
On my entire
It also really depends
situation?
on what people
Just
do
make
on
that word up,
Thursday
because my situation is
We can see
Go ahead,
views
Maxwell.
drop
Tell
like
them.
crazy.
Tell them about how you're
Honestly,
abandoned your own baby.
Honestly, last week's episode with Eileen and Amanda, because I think the premiere was coming up, they're like the most viewed episodes we've ever had. Almost, if not exceeding.
So the year of the Lord was 2008.
About 600 was like within 2 days.
And me and Ronnie James
Man,
were
like,
like,
who's watching this? I'm like,
we're
people
doing
love
this
it.
4 or 5
People like to
times.
just
He was-
watch.
He was
Oh, yeah, the pretty girl on it more too.
It really doesn't matter. It matters on the day, and we. It's always ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, look at me. We have a But what don't matter. What matters is that when you're there and you're like a bunch of whiskey drinks and you know light beers in and you get a girl like Rhonda. I don't remember.
Yeah, because that's what, and then we reshare it later on.
Right.
To let the people that may not have been around
You
for
know,
a whole
now
week feel
I
like,
got
oh, shit,
this
yeah,
like
that's
little sitter on her telling me, oh, look at my Jew lawyer. He's so Jewish and he's going to win this
Are you
case.
kidding me, Maxwell? It's not my fault you don't know when to pull out.
Sending me all these
Andre
documents
told me
that
out
says,
back, he's like,
oh,
yeah, I'm
look,
going to be able to stay for like another 45 minutes. I was like, that's
some sort
fine.
of kid.
Yeah, act like
So it worked out perfectly that he was just like, no.
I was dying when we were talking about cannabis, and then we were just staring like.
Killed her.
Don't
Throw rocks at her until she dies and let her hold that spark.
Neither did I. I learned a lot of shit tonight.
The word marijuana was created by Harry
See
Anslinger.
her all die slowly, and I will giggle like a schoolgirl with a boner.
In the 1930s, like the publications and like
So weird.
propaganda, like
There
the
ghosts
whole
in here?
propaganda
I don't think so.
movement
I thought we were paranormal
all
investigators.
false.
Then Rhonda
Because
calls us over
up
here and
until
says,
1930s, like cannabis was a regular part of the economy. Like it was a medicine. It was like
told you
in fibers. It was used and everything, but people didn't know that marijuana until they started applying the word marijuana.
no, have I
That's
not? I
funny.
haven't even touched it yet. I haven't even seen it.
Are you
Pretty much
kidding?
the background
I'm not
of that city.
kidding.
Even
I'm
more so
kidding like a rape.
We
Is
made
that
the
kidding?
blood
Is
for the
that what I
company,
feel like you
the
did my
American
penis?
Mohawk,
You feel like you raped my
smoking
penis?
breads.
We were
It all
having
started
sex
with
like
singles.
every day
Graham
for
and
5 years.
Humble
Of course, this baby is
Yeah, all right, masturbation is sex
Well,
too.
the
I do
lumber
that 3
industry,
times a day.
what
Does that mean
did
I
that
owe
for
my
paper?
masturbation to
Yeah,
somebody?
They
that's
did
why
that?
They had to get rid of the
That's why they lobbied against hemp, so they could do in favor of the trees.
If you cut the Golden Gate
I'm trying to
Bridge
investigate those,
cables,
and you got me over here
you would
calling
find the
over
hemp
paper
fiber in
blank.
the middle of it.
I'm sick.
Every one of them, yeah.
But what I've also found
You
interesting
guys are acting like
historically
nothing's wrong.
was when they introduced being
My
able to
whole
sell
world.
Why don't you get a
marijuana,
lawyer
or
and
however
find
they,
it?
whatever they
That's
called
what
it
the
back
big deal
then,
is.
Oh, instead of a lawyer.
you needed a stamp by the government.
Well, I don't need a lawyer.
The only way to get the stamp was if you had the product. But if you had the product, it was illegal. They would seize it. So it was like a catch-22. You could never get the stamp. They made it so you could not get the stamp. Oh, well, you need to have the product to get the stamp. All right, well, now I have the product. Well, now we got to seize it and put you in jail because it's illegal and you got it without the stamp. And they got away with that shit.
Like
Oh, sorry.
In 1927,
Rhonda, what is in this room?
You don't live with me. It's none of your business.
I know I don't want to live with you. I literally would chop my own jaw off before I would live with you ever again.
Somebody sabotaged it.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm shit sick of this.
Lit the hemp
What is it?
storage area on fire and it burned the
Yeah, it just happened to start there.
If I ever get some food, man, we gotta get out of here.
You get a
Give that stuff away. I had a good time.
Yeah, we're going to give it away.
Yeah.
Give it away, give it away, give it
Let me
away.
know if I can.
Yeah, we're going to have to get together and talk about this. Yeah, we'll do the whole thing that's coming up. That and Arnold like that.
Yeah, we could be next week. I'm investigating how to be good when I go to the beach.
Yeah, all kinds of time and space.
The hell you do that for?
I didn't do it.
Wrong guy! Nothing is
Don't worry, these fools will be out of here in just a minute.
Hey y'all, what y'all doing here? You make some kind of a film strip or something? Anyway, ladies, I was thinking, told me was going to be free. Sure about that? That's why I wanted to come over. I got nicely. Dressed up for you.
Nice and dressed.
Excuse me, what's the matter with the way I dress? You tell me I don't look good? Buck, I don't see all the pair of trousers and Christ's sake. What's wrong with my clothes? My mama dressed me this way. Y'all can't tell me I don't look good.
Yeah, we can. That's exactly what we can tell you right now. You look like
look at this mother over here. You want to see
I
something?
love that shit. Yeah.
Come here, boy. Come here.
You have color on it? Oh, dude, you can either make a list or just straight text document. You can label them different colors, give them titles, and on the checklist, like if it's a grocery list, you can just check shit off as you go. And it doesn't disappear because you can uncheck it in case you go like to the store another time. You can just reuse the list. I love it.
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you look nice for the lady. I look fine.
Alright guys, drive safe. I'll see you later. It's going to be a wonderful collaboration. That's a big hookup right there. Because we never even considered that. And Anthony Show could definitely use it. That's what I
don't know nothing about out here chasing all kinds of creatures and whatever. I'm not sure y'all even using my devices correctly. Alright? I don't know what she is.
I got the ovulus right here you gave me.
I'll call you when they're done.
The time restraint.
So today we are here to talk about this special device that I have in my hair pocket. This is an ovulus. Okay? Now what the ovulus does is it detects the ovulations of the spiritual beings. Okay? So much like humans, supernatural beings have ovulations and hormones. I'm talking about
that's not what it's called. It's called an oculus. Talking about some ghost ovulation. Get the hell out of here while I talk about this problem. Let me tell you something. I invented this. It's called an oculus. And what it does is...
Maxwell, how much money are you making doing this whole little paranormal adventure?
That's for me to know and you to fuck yourself.
Oh, no, it's not. You owe me like 99.25% of that.
I don't. That's not even a real number. And I don't owe you a dime because I ain't even seen that thing or touched that thing.
What's going on here?
I don't know. My mind's like somewhere else right now. I'm just like not
out of your penis.
What's all
you gonna squirt something out of your penis? Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it.
I like to splooge out of my dick hole, so if y'all could wrap this up.
And the whole time we were trying to straight away blue, we never realized it. Makes sense though.
You got
yeah, and like the thing of it too, like Doc.
Unbelievable.
Well, his Doc uniform is all white. Like that's so weird how that lined up. You probably wouldn't have wore all white.
You said this place looked familiar. I'm sick. Oh, you knew too. Okay, no. Okay, that's good. That's good. No, great. No, I'm just the retard of the group that don't know nothing about nothing, and I have black kids, and then I just gotta pay. Great, I don't even make any money doing this. Y'all motherfuckers drag me along. Y'all got possessed earlier. I saved your ass from Sarah McLaughlin. Remember that? Remember
they assimilated the right team.
Remember that yourself.
And we all get along as well.
So it feels
when we're not filming, we're still talking around.
I believe he knows hell just like I
okay, many layers like a burrito.
Well, I'll see you, Coon. Anyway, baby.
All right,
then. Just turn around later.
And the shadow in your glasses, like especially right at the end.
Somehow we ended up at Rhonda's house. She came in, she cussed us out, but he found out she was crazy because the Maxwell baby. Because all they shit is wet. Come to find out the baby's black. And I know how that happened, and it's a fact. Because I was hitting that shit from the back. So now that's Doc's baby, and the whole world's going crazy. I was in that shit lazy, and I think just maybe I'ma be number 40 after Buckeye, and the shit's getting real fly. I'ma give her an angry pirate. That means I'ma come in the eye.
What
gonna take this stuff out to the trash thing real quick, Alan. Then I'm gonna come back to my stuff.
All right.